Sure. So I had the benefit of starting from scratch. I was building a business from the ground up. I want to do it what I think is the best way, what I think is not the way of the future, but I had no preconceived notions or biases or restrictions around how I had to do things. It was a completely blank slate. I firmly feel percent of AUM is dumb. It's lazy. It's arbitrary. Now, there is no perfect fee model. I fully acknowledge, and my model isn't perfect by any means, but I genuinely feel it's better. And I think it is the trend we're going to see. Percent of AUM is not going away in our lifetime. I think it will keep losing some of its prevalence to flat fees and hourly fees. But I've always felt asset size, even before I was actually doing this business. I've worked with hedge funds and private equity funds. They 2 and 20. They charge on asset size. So I've always been around that model. It just doesn't make sense. Now, investment management, when that's all you did was investment management, and here's a little artifact I brought for you. You know what this is, anybody? A paper trade blotter.
That's awesome.
They used to have these before computers existed. I found a friend of mine worked in an asset manager. They had these in the closet 10 years ago, just sitting there. They're going to throw them out. I was like, cool, let me have one. That's where percent of AUM belongs, in the closet. It's a relic. So when the model used to just be investment management, and it was much more hands-on, there wasn't all these cheap, easy, and commoditized ways to do investment management well, i.e. auto rebalancing software, ETFs, things like that. Yes, it was a lot more manual. It still wasn't directly linear, the amount of work involved to asset size, but it was a lot more manual. Hence, as you can see from paper trade blotters, where you had some monkey filling these things out that run it to some guy who typed it in and blah, blah, blah. Now, most of planning and advisory isn't investment management, or if it is, you're kind of fooling yourself that that's your value add. It's the planning. It's the other holistic help and advice, to which asset size is a horrible indicator of the amount of time, complexity, and resources necessary to properly serve a client. Even if you're doing investment management, asset size alone is just a bad indicator. So why pretend like it still makes sense? And I have some notes. Again, feel free to stop me. I get passionate about this stuff, and I'll keep running until you slap me.
Throw in questions, guys. If you have something you want to combat against, or something you want to bring up, or a topic, obviously throw it in. But I want to let you keep going, Andy. And if I see a reason to jump in, I'll do so.
Cool. Now, I should say, I have spoken with a lot of advisors that they reach out, they're intrigued with the fee model and would like to try to do it, but they're kind of hamstrung. They're in this position where they already have an established business built on percent of AUM. I talked with 3 people in the last couple of weeks about it who want to go to flat fees, and they're like, I don't know how to do it. I'm going to have to tell some people to pay more. And on the other end, I'm going to have clients paying 20, 30 grand. I'm going to have to say, you know what, you've been paying too much. My fee now is only 10 grand, for example. So it's really hard, even if you fully buy into the idea of it, it's really hard to transition from percent of AUM to flat fee at this point.
So hard to go back, and I don't want to consider AUM variable annuity business by any means, but it's stuck in that sense where you don't want to go back and tell somebody, hey, I've been doing this to you, and now all of a sudden I'm providing this new value. It makes it hard to recur that conversation. Sure.
Yeah. So to be fair, here's the pros of percent of AUM. 1, it's always been that way. It works. 2, it's very easy to understand and implement. Right? No matter what custodian you're on, it's super simple to bill. You tell them take out 1% or 25 basis points each quarter from these accounts. Boom, it's done. Clients understand it. Everyone understands it. Super simple to digest. Very scalable and highly profitable, particularly for advisors who are able to institute high minimums and be selective with their clients. There's no wonder why places like Fisher have a $500,000 minimum, and other places obviously follow suit as well with setting minimums. You just simply weed out the ability to make less than 10 grand per relationship by setting yourself some minimum. And I should say, I'm a capitalist. I'm in this to make some money and make a living, but I also view this as much, if not more, from a consumer advocate. Because I came into this industry. I was in the industry, but came into the retail side from the outside. So, I looked in, I saw what I liked, what I didn't like, what I thought it made sense from an independent observer. That's what's formed all my beliefs about, all this stuff.